Okay guys, so somebody asked me if I could do a video um, giving tips on how to get Hags Adept as they are having trouble getting it. So this is what I would suggest. You don't have to listen, of course take it with a grain of salt, but in my experience this is what I did. So because you're using perks they're not awful perks, I mean some killers have much worse perks than this. But of course they are all hexes, because you have Hex Ruin, which will regress the gens when a survivor gets off it, but only at 100%, which isn't great compared to what it was. Devour Hope, where you collect tokens for every hook you get. Each token gives you an effect. When you get up to 5 tokens, you are given the ability to Mori survivors. Of course, that's unless they cleanse it. And then the third one is the third seal, which a lot of people overlook, but although it's not the best perk, it can be useful in some situations, especially if you're playing against solo queue survivors, people who are not in a Swift, because it'll show them initially where you hook somebody, but after that it disappears. It only shows them the bubble, and if they weren't paying attention they won't necessarily know where the survivor was hooked, which of course can create confusion later on in the game when they're trying to find someone to get them off the hook. Again, all these perks are dependent on hex totems, so if a survivor finds any one of them, they can be taken out. As with any adept, what I would recommend is, because the perks are not that great and probably not the build you want to run, is to run the best add-ons for that character. And in Hag's case, this would definitely be the Dried Cicada, which increases your teleportation range by 30% on top of the base, and the Rusty Shackles, which will make your traps silent and a phantasm will not spawn. This can catch a lot of survivors off guard as they don't realise they've tripped the trap. Of course it doesn't work on everybody. There are good survivors who know how to work around this by getting so close to the trap and triggering it and then running away, but on a whole you will catch a lot of survivors off guard with the Rusty Shackles. Now, to pair with this, I would also suggest that you burn a map that you feel good on. In my experience, the best maps for Hag are the indoor maps, although she's not too bad on most maps. For me, my favourite map for her would be Mary's Letter, as it's quite small. There are many corridors, you can funnel survivors down, there isn't many places they can go. Whereas if you take a map like Rotten Fields, for example, it's very open. The survivors could go any way there and they may not hit your traps. Whereas on a place like Midwich, they have to go one way or the other, and you can funnel them in the direction you want them to go. It's also a very small map, and the gates are very easy to control on Midwich. You can see both gates, they never change, and they're easy to control if it does come down to endgame. So this is what I would recommend. Of course, another good map for this would be Leary's, and although Leary's is bigger than Midwich, it is again a map that you can funnel on and hold one area with your 3-gen by placing your traps around it. And also Leary's is much better for your totems if you want to keep the hexes, because there are many places they can spawn on Leary's. They have to look behind things, little crevices and corners. It takes them longer to find totems. If they bother looking for them, which will again slow the game down for you, allow you to get more hooks, and hopefully you win the game. Of course, the adept conditions have now changed. You don't have to do the craziness that was double pip by hooking all survivors X amount of times, kicking gens, getting max chase, all the rest of it. Now you can just get it by 4King. It doesn't matter how many times the survivors were hooked. It doesn't matter if everybody only has one hook and you never even kick a gen, as long as the 4 survivors die. So you could, if you had to, resort to slugging in this case, or just trying to keep the pressure on the survivors so that you can get all of them killed and get your adept. I wouldn't usually advocate for over slugging in most matches, but with adepts I find that you have to be a little bit more ruthless than you would be in normal matches, so this is what I suggest. Right, having said all of that, and if you're still here, thank you, because that was quite a long speech. I'm going to take these perks into a few games to show you, and hopefully I can get you some good footage to give you some tips on how to play these, and hopefully get your adept. If you are trying for your adept, I wish you a lot of luck. I know it took me at least 3-4 days, I think, of trying to get Hags Adept, because I found that I was mainly focusing on trying to keep the totems up to get value out of them. And when I stopped focusing on the totems and I realized, look, the totems are going to get taken. They are going to go. And I focused more on placing my web in areas that I wanted it. I think the game became easier then, and I managed to get the Adept. And I actually got my Adept before the changes came in, so it was harder back then. But still, I think any Adept can be hard when you're not quite sure what you're doing and you feel that you're stuck with the 3 perks that you have. So anyway, I'm going to go off and fight a match for you, and I shall see you in the match. Right guys, here we are on Midwich. As you can see, there are a lot of dark places on Midwich to put your traps. I would suggest looking for those areas to place them. As you can see there, you can't see it. I have a few favourite spots on this map. I shall show you some of them. This one here, on the door. The entrance is both here in the courtyard, right there, and the other one over here. Right here on this door. Again, you are not going to see that unless you are really, really looking for it. This spot right here, a lot of survivors jump down when they do the gen up there. Here. I'd like to get a few traps down. And here someone's on that gen. Oh, I'm going to ignore it for now. Set up a trap this way. There she goes. That's one survivor blind. One gen done too. He didn't hit that trap, okay. 2 survivors blind. And that's why we set up beforehand routes that they may go. This is why Midwich is a very good map. And we're next to the basement, lucky us. Now, because my ruin is still up, you can hear that gen is regressing, so I don't have to bother going to kick it. We're going to get Jeff on a hook, and we're going to leave. As we have Devour, I'm not even going to trap the basement, as I want to get that stack. They're back on that gen, we're going to push them off it again. Check to see nobody else is on it. Doesn't want to give me the pallet, that's fine, I want to get away. Hopefully somebody will go for Jeff in the basement there. They're staying on gens. This is the problem with ruin. They will stay on gens because they don't want to let them go because of the ruin, which is understandable. I like this trap here at this window. Usually there's not a gen there. Now I need to keep away as I want that stack. So I'm just going to go over here for a bit. Please go and rescue him. There's the one. Need a few more traps. 2. There's 2 stacks. Now the god pallet is gone, but I will put another trap here, as it's always nice to get someone in basement. Now we just need one more stack. Oh, there's something gone. Is that the ruin maybe? Is Jeff gonna hit that trap? Nope, but David did. Can we go for that pallet? Oh, Jeff. I don't mind, dude, I'll take it. To go back now to replacing traps. Jeff again, unlucky. Let's get him on a hook, and hopefully that wasn't our Devour. Can't bet I think that was the ruin. We'll go and walk away from the hook if Devour lights back up. Hopefully that's our Devour back there in that bathroom. That would be a lovely spot for it. They don't go there often, usually anyway. I would like to put a trap out there. Yep, still got our devour. Somebody rescue that man. Let him go. I don't want to get too close to the hook because I want that stack. Somebody's on that gen upstairs. Let's go and give them a fright. Trap here is usually good as well at the ramp because a lot of survivors will use this ramp to come upstairs. There's our third. Whoever's in here is in. Oh, you sealed him. Okay. Unlucky dude. Yep, that's our ruin gone, so they're blind. And we've got our Devour. Now they're going to start looking for the Devour. As you can hear, traps going everywhere. But it's okay. My trap down here's gone, but you see, they do use down here. I don't care about being close to the hook now the Devour's gone. So we ignore that and we just get them on hooks. Of course, they did waste time looking for that Devour as well, so they weren't on gens. So the only perk we have left now is our blindness. Oh, Jeff. Still's closed. Go back this way. Jeff, you are very unlucky. I believe this will be our first death. Nope, second. Okay. They're back on that gen. I'm gonna go and push them off it. Hopefully they'll drop down the hole. Somebody needs to go for saves here. They are pushing that gen. They got off it. Ooh, so close. Alright, we get the hook trade anyway. Go in, Jeff. You gonna go for that hook? Jeff, you really are an unlucky man. No, dude, we're doing Adept, so no mercy here, I'm afraid. Forgive me. Other one's pushing gens, but they're gonna have to either pick up or go for another gen. Jeff's gone. Again. We have one trap here, so we don't really need another one over here. Oh, here's our last soul. I won't make this, so we just trap, so he drops the pallet. Now he has to either go back around or leave. He's doing the smart thing, he's going upstairs, staying away from the traps. Interesting. If he runs straight though, he's going to go into... Oh no, the trap's gone there. But that one over there is still there. To make him think I'm placing it. He's going to hit the trap. That's why I always trap there. And there is your Adept. That's if we can find a hook, of course, because Jeff broke that one. Will we get him upstairs? We may. Maybe not. I don't think we're going to make it. We did. But we don't have a hook for the other player, unfortunately, and we have to wait for the breakdown. And I think that's actually 3 minutes. So... Sometimes there are 2 hooks in the courtyard out here. I'm not seeing 2. Is there one in this corner? Nope. And this one's gone as well, so I don't think I'm going to be able to hook Jeff. But what you can do in a situation like this, I may as well show you. You can trap all the exits and entrances. First we go and find Hatch. Hatch will always be downstairs on this map. It's not like Midwich RPD where it can be upstairs. First we close this to prevent the escape. And now we trap places that he can run. Then we pick him up, let him wiggle, and hopefully he'll run in an area where there are hooks. So I'll take him closer over here to the middle. Right. Now we will make that hook in the corridor over there. Or that one over there, actually. Either hook, if we can get round the door. Jeff is a strong wiggler. Or David even. And there is your adept. And since we have time, we'll take this, even though I already have it. And just break a few doors in just for the points. So, I hope that was useful to you, or to somebody, and I wish you luck with your adepts.